Hello friends, welcome to this web discussion. Today's set of questions here. So we begin with the first one, and this is on NPAs. Which of the following are types of non-performing assets? Now these are three different types of non-performing assets. What is it? What's an NPA? What are these three different types is what we are going to write about. Please start writing your notes, and the first note will be on NPA. Please write NPA, non-performing asset. Underline that. Arises, arises, A-R-I-S-E-S, arises when a bank does not receive either the principal P-R-I-N-C-I-P-A-L, principal, or interest on the loan, or both within 90 days from the due date. So arises when a bank does not receive either the principal or interest from the loan or both within 90 days from the due date. Let's say I borrow money from the bank. When I borrow, I am expected to repay you. Let's say you are the bank, you expect me to repay the money. I don't repay, I'm a fraud. So I don't repay. When I don't repay, you wait for 90 days from the due date. Let's say 1st of June was the due date, so I haven't repaid. You would wait for 90 days, and after that you would label my loan as an NPA, non-performing asset. Why is it called non-performing? Because your asset, the money that you lent me, is not performing, earning anything for you. It's not earning anything for you. In fact, you're suffering a loss. So a non-performing asset is a liability. It's a kind of, it drags down the profit of a bank. So what is the scale of NPAs in India? I was going through the RBI report on this on the RBI website. In June, in the last week of June, they released some report wherein the RBI governor had stated that about 8.3% of loans are gross NPAs. That is, for every 100 rupees, 8 rupees 30 paisa is NPA. It's not going to come back to the bank, and that's pretty worrisome because it's depositors' money. Money that does not come back is always a worrying thing for a bank, because see, a bank, what it does is this: it takes money from public. Now let's say it has collected 100 rupees from the public. Take 100 rupees from the public. 3% goes to the RBI in the form of CRR, cash reserve ratio. 18% is statutory liquidity ratio, which means it has to keep that money in highly liquid assets, typically government bonds and gold. So 18 plus 3, 21 is gone. Plus then it would have a lot of expenses, operating expenses, branch maintenance, salaries, pensions, all those things. Now imagine the amount of money they have spent. So they would keep about 30% for that, 15% for emergency. So in all, a bank would not lend more than 30 to 35% of its deposit base. So it has pretty little money to lend also. In that sense, if it does not recover money, how is it going to repay the depositors? How is it going to make loans to people who deserve them, and plus the people who are credit worthy? So there is always a worrying thing. See, as of September last year, and new data is not available as of date. Okay, I have checked the RBI website also. As of September last year, the total NPAs in India are about, this is public sector banks, 7,27,000 crore rupees. That is 7.27 lakh crore rupees is termed NPA. That is, people like me have borrowed that money, have not repaid that stuff. Imagine that money, 7.27 lakh crore rupees. Now, given that the economy has not performed very well, it's likely to go bad. The numbers are likely to rise. Okay, so things are going to be pretty bad for the banks, at least this financial year. Hopefully, they get better as the economy improves. What are the three different types there? So you see the substandard, doubtful, and lost. So write types of NPAs. Types of NPAs. So when you write NPAs, please remember capital N, capital P, capital A, small s without apostrophe. NPA छोटा s, no apostrophe. बीच में apostrophe नहीं आना चाहिए. Okay. So what are you doing is you're writing non-NPA in plural. When you write something in plural, the s, small s, should not be preceded by an apostrophe. Because when you put an apostrophe, it becomes belonging to. Okay? Like Bharat's pen. BHARAT apostrophe S. Bharat's pen. Bharat ki pen. If you don't put an apostrophe, it means Bharat's pen. Who Bharats? Bharats could be a person or people like Bharat. You understand that? Yeah. So you should always have, when you say the Sachin Tendulkars of the world, you're talking of people like Sachin Tendulkar. So there should not be an apostrophe between Tendulkar's last letter, that is R, and apostrophe and S. Okay. So please don't put an apostrophe. And when you write crores of rupees, when you say people who read the Hindu paper have this habit of writing rupees, okay, 1,000 crores. No, you should not write 1,000 crores. You should write 1,000 crore. 1,000 crore. That RS includes rupees in plural basically. Okay, the S is a plural only. And even if you put the symbol also, it means 1,000. 1,000 is more than one. So more than one is always plural. Rupees. If it's less, it's one or less than it. It's, let's say it's rupee. Only 1 rupee. It is rupee, not rupees. So it should be crore, lakh, not lakhs, crores. After that, 1,000 crore, 1,000. 1 lakh rupees, like that. So write substandard asset. First one, underline that, take the simple definition. NPA for a period of less than or equal to 12 months. Less than or equal to 12 months. Less than or equal to 12 months. Next, doubtful asset. Doubtful asset. NPA that has remained in the substandard asset category. In the substandard asset category for a period of more than 12 months. More than 12 months. 12 months. Next, loss asset. Right. Considered, CONSIDERED, considered uncollectible, 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 comma, although ALTHOUGH, although there is a slim, there may be a slim, there may be a slim, SLIM, slim chance of recovery. Slim chance of recovery. There is always that hope, you see. Slim chance of recovery. So these are the types of NPAs. Most of the NPAs basically as of today are of in the second category, first and second category, but generally people like big wealthy defaulters like Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi, these guys they're at least the enforcement directorate, the income tax department, these guys are been at least they are able to recover through by seizing their their assets. But otherwise a lot of money is stolen, in other words, because this is NPA. See, if I don't have the imandari, if I don't have the honesty to repay, I am stealing someone's money. That is essentially what it is. And imagine that 7.27 lakh crore rupees is not small number. And as of today, so given that the economic conditions have been bad, it will be about 9 lakh crore rupees. 9 lakh crore rupees is a lot of money. Imagine that money in the hands of banks. What would they do? They would lend, and the economic activity would go further basically. So in any case, that's NPA. And I wanted to tell you something about this principal, Principal. See, often people get confused between PLE and PAL in the end of the word principal. How do you differentiate these two? You see this when you write PRINCIPLE, what are the last two letters? LE. LE, you now put a dash, right? RULE, rule. RULE, rule. What are the last letters in the word rule? Last two letters? LE. So when you are talking of rules somewhere, you're talking of principles. You're talking of principles. The principles laid down by the headmistress of the school. So in that sense, it will be rules. So rules के लिए आता है LE. So LE last letter in rule and last two letters in rule and last two letters in the word principal. If you're talking of principal, the principal of a college, principal of a school, PAL आना चाहिए. PAL. What are the middle letter in that? A. A dash main. 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 See, this second letter is main. इसमें A आता है. Main means someone who is the head, the most important person there. So we are talking about main that way. Okay. You can always say the principles laid down by the principal of the school. Okay, little confusing, but if you now know the difference, it becomes easy. एक और है stationery, NARY, stationery, NERY, dash paper, PAPER. What are the two letters in the word paper? ER. So if you are referring to paper related stuff, जैसे stationery की दुकान होती है, उसमें NERY आना चाहिए. If you are referring to something that is standing, stationary object, okay, you look at the letter A, NARY, A, stand में A आता है. So that's how you remember. Easy way to remember. At least I believe that's easy. So on the 6th International Yoga Day, which is on 21st June. 21st June is the longest day in the northern hemisphere. SF, it's pronounced, the P is pronounced with an F, okay? Hemisphere. If it's the longest day in the northern hemisphere, it automatically becomes the shortest day in the southern hemisphere. So on 21st June, which is the longest day in the northern hemisphere, International Yoga Day is observed. And on this yoga day, that is 2020, the world's first yoga university named Vivekananda Yoga University was launched in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is in America. It's in America, on the west coast of America. You know, that name is Spanish. So I think I told the story that Western United States is ruled by Spain for a long time. So when you say Los Angeles, the original name of Los Angeles has 52 letters. 52 अक्षर है लॉस एंजलिस के पूरे नाम में. It is a short form. This is a short form. It's also called this is where Hollywood is. The world, the American film industry is localized in Los Angeles. Okay. So we have Berlin, which is the capital of Germany. We have Brussels, the capital of Belgium. It's also where European Commission is headquartered. Brussels is where European Commission is headquartered. You know, London's the capital of Britain, and it's also the head office of a lot of organizations, a lot of companies. You could take one. Amnesty International is headquartered in London. Amnesty International, human rights organization, which always speaks generally in favor of terrorists, in favor of, it rarely speaks about the victims of terrorism. So you have Canberra there. Canberra is the capital of Australia, and recently the Prime Minister of Australia had a virtual meeting with the Prime Minister of India. The Prime Minister of Australia is Scott Morrison. S-C-O-T-T, Scott Morrison, M-O-R-R-I-S-O-N, Morrison, Scott Morrison. Since I mentioned Prime Minister of Australia, I'll also tell you the name of the Prime Minister of Belgium. Just right. Sophie, S-O-P-H-I-E, Sophie Wilmes, W-I-L-M-E-S, Wilmes. To repeat, Sophie, S-O-P-H-I-E, Sophie Wilmes, W-I-L-M-E-S. In July 2020, which team won the English Premier League after a period of 30 years? The English Premier League is the highest class league in English football, my friends. Okay? So this time it has been won by Liverpool FC. Liverpool FC. FC is always football club. This is their, coat of arms, emblem, whatever you call it. You will never walk alone. Such a beautiful line, isn't it? Yeah. So if there's hardly anything to discuss. You see that MU, Manchester United, it's considered it's considered the most famous football club in the world. Manchester United, they have a nickname also. Red Devils, D-E-V-I-L-S, Devils. So Liverpool won the football EPL this year, and the runner-up was more or less Manchester City. Yeah, Manchester City. So this was Liverpool's first title. Pehli baar Liverpool has won the EPL. Okay. The maximum number of titles have been won by Manchester United, 13 titles. EPL has been won on a record 13 occasions by Manchester United. Which of the following statements are true with respect to the real-time gross? I think that's what the full form is. It's there in the choice 1. RTGS stands for real-time gross settlement. Gross. कैसे pronounce करते हैं इसको? Gross कहते हैं. Gross नहीं कहना है, gross कहना है. Okay? Gross. That's the right pronunciation. See, I'll share my love of the English language with you. You like it, it's okay, it's good. If you don't like it, ignore it. Okay? Real-time gross settlement is a full form of RTGS. Number 2, it's a continuous settlement of funds transfer individually on an order-by-order basis. The minimum, yes, see, RTGS क्या immediate होता है, एक साथ होता है, batches में नहीं होता है, okay? NEFT is always in batches, off-hour batches होते हैं. NEFT, National Electronic Funds Transfer, happens in batches of 30 minutes, whereas RTGS happens immediately. And IMPS, immediate payment service, also happens immediately. Payment kiya, you said click, it gets credited to the other person's account. But when it comes to NEFT, it's always in off-hour batches. Okay, so we have it's a continuous settlement funds transfer individually on an order-by-order basis. Why order on order? You send through RTGS. I send two orders. Your order goes separately, mine goes separately. Whereas in NEFT, your order and my order will be clubbed. So 30 minutes, one batch of orders go. 30 minutes. Everything is clubbed in those 30 minutes. Okay. Next, the minimum amount to be remitted through RTGS is 2 lakh rupees. Yes, minimum is 2 lakhs. Maximum is maximum unlimited. But minimum amount, if you want to use some like RTGS, you need to transfer at least 2 lakh rupees. There is no upper ceiling for RTGS transactions. All of the above are true. So this is very good for high value transactions. High value transactions. Yeah. Deposits with dash are not insured by the DICGC. Primary cooperative banks are not insured. Why don't you just write this 1-2 lines about DICGC. Right. DICGC. DICGC. Okay, underline that. First one. First point. In 1962, Deposit Insurance Corporation was set up dash it insured INSURED, it's there in the question. It insured loans no sorry it insured deposits, not loans, deposits. It insured deposits made with commercial banks only, Next point. In 1971, the Credit Guarantee Corporation was established dash it guaranteed loans made by commercial banks to weaker sections and small scale industries. So the first one insured loans. So if you had a deposit in 1962, if you had a deposit, it was covered, okay, it was insured by DIC. But if only the deposit was with a commercial bank, not with, let's say, a primary, a regional rural bank or a local bank, no, that was not covered. Only deposits with commercial banks were covered. Okay. Now the government of India set up a Credit Guarantee Corporation. That is, see, commercial banks would want some guarantee that if we lend to commercial, weaker sections as the government wants, someone has to guarantee those loans. Poor people cannot guarantee their own loans. Yeah, they won't be able to. They won't have collateral, anything. So the CG, Credit Guarantee Corporation of India, was set up. Its job was to ensure, give guarantee. Okay, you lend to them. If they don't pay, we will pay you kind of thing. Okay. So next point. In 1978, DIC and CGCI CGCI were merged to form DICGC. Merged to form DICGC. Last point. Today DICGC insures deposits of up to rupees 5 lakh in brackets including both principal and interest. Ensure deposits of up to rupees 5 lakh after you close the bracket per case, per branch, per case, per bank, per bank. I think we discussed this yesterday as to how your money is safe if you put it in different banks. It will always common sense that you don't put all your money in one place, you spread it across, So next, the Grammy Award for the Song of the Year 2020 went to Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. This is Billie Eilish. She sings fabulous stuff. She has a great voice. So you write 2020 Grammy Awards. 2020 Grammy Awards. 2020 Grammy Awards. Underline that. 1. Song of the Year. You write this first. Song of the Year. Dash. Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. BILLIE. Billie Eilish. EILISH. Billie Eilish. EILISH. Next. Album of the Year. Dash. When we fall asleep. When we all fall asleep. When we all fall when we all fall asleep, 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 comma, where do we go? When we all fall asleep, comma, where do we go? Question mark. That's a very good question, isn't it? We go into dreams, maybe nightmares. When we all fall asleep, where do we go? By Billie Eilish, same person, Billie Eilish. Next. Right. Record of the Year. RECORD. Record of the Year. Record of the Year. Dash. Bad Guy by. Now this is to do with the person who writes it, okay? Not just a singer. Billie Eilish, this person. Billie Eilish and Finis O'Connell, her brother actually. Finneas. I repeat, Finneas. Phineas. O'Connell. O apostrophe O apostrophe Connell. I repeat, Phineas. Finneas. Phineas. O'Connell. O apostrophe Connell. O'Connell. Last one. So you never know what kinds of questions might come in the exam. These days, because not much is happening, they may ask you anything. See, if events are happening, some, what we say, summits are happening, some policy measures are taking place, fine, you may get, but most people will be prepared for that. You should be prepared for something that most people don't prepare, and that is where we come in. Okay, we'll give you the ordinary stuff and the stuff that most people don't prepare for. So, right, next, best pop album, best pop song, best pop song. This is a very good song. Truth Hurts. Truth. You look at choice 5. Truth Hurts by Lizzo. I repeat, Lizzo. Lizzo. Last one. Really last one. Best rock solo. Best rock song. Best rock, R-O-C-K, rock song. Dash. This Land. T-H-I-S. This Land. L-A-N-D. This Land. By, who's the guy? Gary Clark. Gary. G-A-R-Y. Gary. G-A-R-Y. Gary Clark. C-L-A-R-K. Clark. C-L-A-R-K. Clark. Gary Clark. Listen to some good songs. It's always fun. Sometimes we don't understand, but it's okay. It's always okay not to, like I told you yesterday, it's okay not to understand everything, not to remember everything. But it's good to listen. Normally I don't have this kind of large photograph. This is very long photograph from top to bottom, lengthy. Douglas Engelbart invented the computer mouse. You look at that guy, yeah, in his hand what you find is the first mouse. Douglas Engelbart invented the first mouse. That's the first mouse. That's why the photograph is like that. So what about the QR code? A QR code क्या होता है? QR code आप कहीं पे भी आप जाइए, you find these kinds of codes everywhere. You find these kinds of codes everywhere. I was trying to pull out one code for payments, for when you say Google Pay and all that, you have this, bars and dots code, isn't it? That code is called QR code, quick reaction code. QR stands for quick reaction. Quick reaction. Yeah, it's a guy called Masahiro Hara. You write this. QR code dash invented by Masahiro, M-A-S-A-H-I-R. I repeat, M-A-S-A-H-I-R. M-A-S-A-H-I-R. Masahiro Hara. H-A-R-A. Masahiro Hara. Next. Emoticon. Emoticon क्या होता है? जो भी symbols होते हैं, जो smileys बोलते हैं normally. So it comes on two separate words. Emotion plus icon is emoticon. Okay, that an icon is symbol that which helps us express our emotions. Okay, emoticon was created by Scott Fahlman. Scott, S-C-O-T-T, S-C-O-T-T, Scott Fahlman, F-A-H-L-M-A-N. Scott Fahlman. Scott Fahlman. Fahlman. This was sometime in 1973, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, quite long back. And he created the first smiley. He put a colon, hyphen, end bracket. That's, a smiley basically. He didn't create all the stuff that we have today. All the stuff that you on WhatsApp, he didn't create all that. He created only the ASCII 2 computer codes for colon, that's what he calls smiley, typical smiley. Cell phone. So who created a cell phone? Martin Cooper. Martin, M-A-R-T-I-N. Martin Cooper. C-O-O-P-E-R. Cooper. Martin Cooper. Martin Cooper. Martin Cooper. So cell phone was created by Martin Cooper, who at that time worked for a company called Motorola. Motorola is a pioneer in radio communications, wireless communications. But unfortunately, the company didn't do well in the last, it didn't do well in the last years of the last decade, previous decade. So it went more or less, bankrupt, khatam ho gaya, ekdam diwar nikal gaya. So that they split the company. One remained what is called Motorola Solutions, okay, and the other is Motorola Mobile, more or less basically, okay. So this Motorola hardware devices thing was purchased by Motorola Mobility. It was called Motorola Mobility. Was acquired by Google. For about $12.5 billion. Okay. So 2 साल के बाद Motorola was sold by Google to Lenovo, which is a Chinese company. So it was sold for about $2.5 billion. आप समझ रहे होंगे, $12.5 billion they spent, they sold it for just about $2.5 billion. That's a huge loss. No, there's no loss, because Google kept all the patents. They kept all the patents, and Motorola was known for its patents. Motorola was known for its technology, okay, and Google kept all the technology, okay. So आज का जो Motorola phone होता है, Moto Razr, Moto G, all that stuff is made by Lenovo, which is a Chinese company. Fair. Now coming to Motorola Solutions, the other company that it's still there. It is doing well, not great. Its CEO is a guy called Greg Brown. It provides telecom solutions basically, wireless and telecom solutions. See, it is important to be learning. It's important to adapt oneself, and if we don't adapt ourselves, don't learn, we won't have a future. That's what companies like Nokia did. They didn't learn. They ended up on the wrong side. When I started, and I'm sure that a lot of people in their 40s, when they started buying phones, their first phones would have been Nokia phones. आज कोई Nokia नहीं खरीदता. But at one time, till about 2010, Nokia was the world's largest mobile maker. But they ignored the digital revolution. They ignored the smartphone revolution. So what happened? They went back. They went khatam ho gayi company. It was acquired by Microsoft, and Microsoft also didn't do very well in mobiles. So today, you look at another company, Eastman Kodak. Eastman Kodak ignored the digital revolution. Eastman Kodak is a company that came up with the camera, that came up with the roll film. But unfortunately, the company went bankrupt. Diwala nikal gaya company ka. Why? Because it laughed at people who use those digital cameras, and they said, okay, it's a fad. Why would people buy such expensive things? And today, do you buy a roll film camera? You don't buy. That's what is happening. So people who don't learn end up on the wrong side. They always end up on the wrong side. Ghamand nahi hona chahiye. 1, 2, we should be open to learning. And 3, use that learning every day. Okay? So it's good to learn. Look at that, 5th one. Integrated circuit. Integrated circuit, IC, chip basically. Okay? Every kind of device, everything around us has an IP, IC. It was created by two guys. You could write Jack Kilby. Jack, J-A-C-K, Jack Kilby, K-I-L-B-Y, Jack Kilby, and Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, Robert Noyce, N-O-Y-C-E, Robert Noyce, Robert Noyce, N-O-Y-C-E. They did the work separately, okay, but they ended up doing the same stuff. So, this Robert Noyce was one of the co-founders of Intel Corporation. Intel Corporation. As per the Union government data, which state topped in direct benefit transfer payouts in 2019-20. Last financial year, the highest DBT was made by Haryana. Okay, but I'll give you some notes on DBT. What is DBT? Where let's say there is a subsidy. Simple bhasha mein. Let's say I have a gas connection. Okay, fine, gas connection. Let's say I'm a rural worker. So the government says, instead of giving you wages, we will transfer that money directly into your account. So I need to have Aadhaar, and with Aadhaar I need to have an account. Typically Jan Dhan, account. So my Aadhaar and bank account are linked. So as soon as, and biometric, as a passenger biometric. So I do my work, biometric punch, then money goes to my account. When money goes into my account, look, there is no middleman. It directly goes from the government into my account. So there is no middleman. Pehle kya hota tha ki government used to give contract, okay? Or let's say there was a government babu. Let's say I am a government officer, a corrupt fellow. I would employ people. We would, let's say, build a road, 5 crore road. I would say in my books of accounts, ऐसे किताब में मैं लिख देता हूँ कि Ramesh, Mangamma, Sunita, all these people worked. See, I would say 100 people worked, and I would fake their signatures or whatever. Whereas only about 10 people worked. 50 I show, only 10 work. The wages of the other 40 would be pocketed by me and the people around. This was a normal thing in the past. Not all government officers, of course. There are always honest people everywhere. But this was a widespread practice. So there was a lot of fraud. Such fraud, you cannot imagine. But then the government said this is not happening. So whoever works, they would need to have an Aadhaar card and they would need to have a bank account. So we will directly transfer the wages into their account. So you can't fake that. You can't fake basically. Okay. So write this. Direct benefit transfer. Direct benefit transfer, underline that. Payouts in 2019-20. Payouts in 2019-20. Dash all data from DBT bharat.gov.in. DBT Bharat, BHARAT .gov.in. Underline that. Okay, first point. Total DBT payout dash rupees 3.8 lakh crore. Rupees 3.8 lakh crore. 3,80,000 crore rupees has been transferred into the people's account, bank accounts. Next, number of transactions dash 438 crore. That's the right number. 438 crore. Next, because most transactions are very small amounts, 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 300 rupees, sometimes subsidy on gas cylinders and all that. Okay. Next, number of schemes. What is it? 404. So over 400 schemes of the government, yeah, use this method to transfer, to make payments, essentially to make payments and transfer subsidies to people, to recipients. Next, number of ministries, 55, 55. Last one, estimated gains, GAINS, gains dash rupees 1.7 lakh crore, rupees 1.7 lakh crore. अब आप सोचिए 1,70,000 करोड़ का, the government saved. Otherwise this money would have gone into pockets of people, a corrupt guy like me. So the government is saving a lot of money. It's good. These kinds of things are very good, my friends. So some other time, maybe sometime next week, I'll tell you about subsidy, and I'll bring in how corruption happens in gas cylinders or in food delivery. चलते हैं आगे. And who are the chief ministers of these places? Gujarat, Vijay Rupani. Haryana, Manohar Lal Khattar. Manohar Lal Khattar's, he has just announced that every girl child who graduates, who has a degree, or rather I think who's class 10 या कुछ है, some qualification, whoever comes out of a particular education institute along with the degree or whatever the course is, she would get a passport. Yes, a passport. And it will be like, it's like a dream, you could go abroad and study. It's a progressive feature, but social economic conditions also matter here. Punjab, Amrinder Singh. Telangana, India's youngest state, K. Chandrasekhar Rao. And Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath. Which of the following is not a negotiable instrument? Of course, money order is not a negotiable instrument. A negotiable instrument is, let's say I borrow money from you. Okay? हम दोनों के बीच में, there is a document like this. Where I have written scribbled something. I write that I have borrowed money from, X, so and so money on so and so date at a rate of interest of so and so. I shall repay so and so. All details are mentioned. So this is an acknowledgement. This paper is an acknowledgement. So anything that is an acknowledgement, anything that can be exchanged is a negotiable instrument. Okay? Look at check, yes. Promissory note, yes. Bank draft, yes. Bill of exchange, all can be exchanged. But what about money order? If my friend sends me a money order, can it be exchanged? No, it has to come directly to the recipient only. So it cannot be exchanged. That cannot be it's not a negotiable instrument. The Export-Import Bank of India reported a 51% increase in net profit at 124 crores in the year ended. Who is the MD of Exim Bank? David Raskina. Who but the choices? Shyam Srinivasan, CEO of Federal Bank, Chief Executive Officer of Federal Bank, Chief Executive Officer of Federal Bank. Next, Rakesh Sharma, CEO of IDBI Bank. Then Mohammad Mustafa, I think I told you this. Chairman of SIDBI, SIDBI, which is Small Industries Development Bank of India. Sharda Kumar Hota, Chairman of National Housing Board. That's it. What are GDRs? Global Depository Receipts. You could write simple. Shares issued by shares issued by Indian companies in a foreign market, comma, especially outside the US, This is a common man's understanding. Okay, उसके नीचे लिखिए ADR, American Depository Receipts. American Depository Receipts dash shares issued by Indian companies in the American market. Shares issued by Indian companies in America. This is non-technical definition. Okay. Next, current affairs. A court has ruled that the world famous museum Hagia Sophia be converted into a mosque. Where is this? This is a place. Okay, this is in Turkey, Istanbul. You write this Hagia Sophia, Hagia, you could say. Okay, you write this and underline it. First one, now called Great Mosque, MOSQUE, Mosque of Asa Sophia, I repeat, ASASOFYA. To repeat, ASASOFYA, Asa Sophia. Now called Great Mosque of Asa Sophia. Next, located in Istanbul, 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 comma, Turkey. Next, built in AD 537 by Roman Justinian, 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 by Roman Emperor Justinian the First, Roman numeral 1, Justinian the First. Next, converted into a mosque, from a cathedral, from a church. You can simply write from a church, converted into a mosque from a church, in 1453. So जब 537 में build किया था इसको, this is a church. It was a church for nearly 900 years. This was a church, but then the Arabs The Muslims came and occupied Istanbul. Okay, and when they occupied Istanbul, they converted this into a mosque. Next point. See, when they converted this, all the imagery of Jesus, all biblical references, everything was plastered over. Everything was plastered over. Next, in 1935, it was converted into a museum. It was converted into a museum by, I'll give you the name, by Kemal Pasha, Kemal, Kemal Pasha, Pasha, Kemal Pasha, President of Turkey. So he was a very secular guy. He believed that religion should not be the business of state. So why fight, he said. Why not convert this into a museum? That's pretty much what he did. So, last point. President of Turkey is what's his name? Recep, RECEP, Recep Tayyip, TAYYIP, Tayyip Erdogan, 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 Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Full stop. This guy is an Islamist. He's seriously anti-secularism. Yeah. No. Look, I have nothing, no agenda. I am telling you what his agenda is. Okay. So anyway, Armenia. Armenia's prime minister recently tested positive for coronavirus. You want his name? You could write Armenia Prime Minister, Armenia-Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. I remember it right. Nikol, Pashinyan, PASHIYAN. Nikol Pashinyan tested positive for COVID. Tested positive for COVID. Okay. See, when the original thing was built, these pillars were not there. These pillars were not there. Okay. Even the dome was slightly different. All these things were added later after it was converted into a mosque. Okay. It was very different originally. So anyway, do you want to know anything about this? Greece Prime Minister, since we are discussing presidents, leaders in Greece Prime Minister, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, I repeat, KYRIOKAS, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, MITSOTAKIS, Mitsotakis. Russia has a prime minister, president, of course. President, Putin. He has just won a presidential referendum which removes 2 limits. There have been limits. A president cannot be there. A president cannot have more than 2 consecutive terms. Okay, so he is now. Last week, a referendum हुआ था. There was a referendum in which about 74% of the people said yes to the constitutional amendments which like remove the two-term limit from Russia's presidency. So this guy wants to rule for life. You have Italy. Italy's prime minister is Giuseppe Conte. Giuseppe 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 Conte. 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 Next. Whom of the following is the co-author of the book A Commentary and Digest on the Air Act 1981? Apurva Kumar Singh. I'm not going to discuss this. UK Sinha is the ex-SEBI, ex-SEBI chairman. Rangarajan, C. Rangarajan is the ex-RBI governor and ex-RBI Andhra Pradesh governor, both that way. Okay, you know this Manmohan Singh, former Prime Minister of India. No, I am not going to discuss that question. Simlipal National Park, India's third largest national park, is in Odisha. And you see this here? This is the Great Indian Bustard. B-U-S-T-A-R-D. Bustard. It looks like an ostrich. It's pretty big also. This is found in Rajasthan. So these places, I'm going to give you some stuff. Okay. India's 5 largest national parks. Simlipal is in Odisha. Third largest. Right. India's 5 largest national parks. Please write this. India's 5 largest national parks. Underline that. First one. Herms. H-E-R-M-E-S. H-E-R-M-E-S. You will some places you will find H-E-R-M-I-S. Both are fine. Herms. Dash. Ladakh dash 4,400 square kilometers. 4,400 square kilometers dash famous for snow leopard. Famous for snow leopard. Snow leopard. I'm not going to give it for all, just 1, 2 where some animals are famous. Number 2. Desert National Park. Number 2, Desert, D-E-S-E-R-T, Desert National Park. Desert National Park, dash, Desert National Park. Rajasthan, about 3150 square kilometers. 3150, it could be little over 31, yeah, 3150. Next, third one you write that Simlipal National Park. Rajasthan ke liye you want to write the animal, right? Great Indian Bustard. Great Indian Bustard. B-U-S-T-A-R-D. Bustard. Great Indian Bustard. Next. Third one, Simlipal. Simlipal in Odisha for variety of things, even tiger. Yeah. Next, fourth one. Next position, Nam Dhapa. Fourth one is Nam Dhapa. Gangotri. Fourth one is Gangotri. Gangotri National Park, which is in Uttarakhand. For everything, area is not important, but anyway, if you want to write for Simlipal, the area is about 2750 square kilometers. Simlipal 2750. For Gangotri, it's about 2400. Fifth one is Nam Dhapa. N-A-M-D-H-A-P-A. Nam Dhapa. N-A-M-D-H-A-P-A. Nam Dhapa. Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh. About area is about 2000 square kilometers. I think 10 या 15 square kilometer less than 2000. Right, about 2000 square kilometers. So first one is Hermes, 4400 square kilometers. Second one is Desert, which is 3150 square kilometers. Third one is Simlipal, which is about 2700 square kilometers, 2750, 2700 square kilometers. Fourth is Gangotri, which is about 2400 square kilometers, 23 or 2400 square kilometers. Fifth one is, what is that? Namdhapa, which is about 2000 square kilometers. I think it's about 1985 something, but you write 2000. Okay. It's fascinating. All these things are fascinating. The government of India has raised the import duty on bamboo sticks from 10% to 25% to cut down on their import, so that bamboo sticks from northeast India could be sourced, could be purchased. So they get business and money is saved within the country. Okay. So this is very important because northeast India is quite famous for its bamboo, plants and everything, bamboo cultivation. Carrie Lam is the Chief Executive Officer of Series. So there is, I just replaced one of the questions that my colleagues gave me. This is the one. Carrie Lam is the CEO of one city, 4 companies. Normally companies have CEOs, not cities, but Hong Kong has a CEO. This is Carrie Lam. Carrie Lam. Maybe in the next class I'll tell you the story of Hong Kong, but right now Carrie Lam is the Chief Executive Officer of Hong Kong. What about Nestle? Nestle is, you write just the CEOs, okay? Nestle, it's the world's largest food company. You know this Kit Kat, Nescafe? This is the company that makes them. Nestle's CEO is, right, Ulf Mark Schneider. You write this. ULF, Ulf, space, Mark, M-A-R-K, Mark, Schneider, S-C-H-N-E-I-D-E-R, Schneider, S-C-H-N-E-I-D-E-R, Schneider. It's a Switzerland company. Switzerland की company है Nestle. Daimler is a maker of Mercedes cars. Mercedes cars road पे सड़क पे दिखती हैं. Daimler. How do you say that? Daimler. And what is the product it makes? Mercedes. Say that. Mercedes. Yeah. It's a German company. Its CEO is Ola Källenius. Ola. O-L-A. Ola Källenius. K-A-L-L-E-N-I-U-S. I repeat. K-A-L-L-E-N-I-U-S. Ola Källenius. Wipro. Chairman, Rishad Premji. Chairman is Rishad Premji. But they have a new CEO. Write the CEO's name. Thierry. T-H-I. I repeat. T-H-I-E-R-R-Y. I repeat. T-H-I-E-R-R-Y. Thierry Delaporte. D-E-L-A-P-O-R-T-E. Delaporte. Thierry Delaporte. 3M. 3M बना दी क्या है? Actually the 3M होता है इसमें. पहले नाम अभी नहीं. They don't use the name full name now. Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing. Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing. 3Ms. You know this. They make glass panes. Skyscrapers काफी बड़ी ऊंची बिल्डिंगें होती हैं. They make the glasses. Yeah. They make industrial glass. They make abrasives, laminates. They make phone glasses. They make post-it notes. इनका सबसे बड़ा famous invention है post-it notes. जो हम write something and put it on a wall so that it acts as a reminder. So that sticky notes, लोग करते हैं sticky notes, but this is post-it notes. It is their patent. They also make Scotch Brite. आपके kitchen में होगा Scotch Brite. So this is a company that makes. This company makes over, over 40,000 products. It's one of the world's biggest makers of N95 masks. Okay, ultra top quality. Yeah. Its CEO is a person named Mike Roman. Mike, M-I-K-E, Mike Roman, R-O-M-A-N. आपके पास कहीं पे भी XUV, महिंद्रा XUV गाड़ी है आसपास है, you own or someone around you owns, you see that, walk past it and you will find on the windshield the glasses are made by 3M. Don't peep in if it's not your car, okay, but look at it, it's made by 3M. Okay, keep an eye. It's good to learn things. It's always good to learn things. The headquarters of South Coastal Railway Zone, India's latest railway zone, is Visakhapatnam. India has, India has 18 railway zones. 18 railway zones, and this is the latest one. South Coastal Railway Zone, South Coast Railway Zone. The head office is in Visakhapatnam, whereas you would find that Chennai is home to Southern Railway. Southern Railway. Vijayawada, not railway headquarters of anything. Bhubaneswar, East Coast Railway. East Coast Railway. Bhubaneswar, East Coast Railway. Calcutta, Eastern Railway. Eastern Railway and Kolkata Metro Railway Zone. Kolkata Metro Railway Zone. Kolkata Metro Railway Zone. Out of the 18 railway zones, one is Metro, Calcutta Metro. चलते हैं. Name the recipient of the EY Ernst & Young World Entrepreneur of the Year Award. Kiran Majumdar-Shaw. Kiran Majumdar-Shaw. She is the CEO of Biocon. B-I-O-C-O-N. I repeat, B-I-O-C-O-N. Biocon. Biocon is India's largest biotechnology company. Biocon. B-I-O-C-O-N. Biocon. Over these guys, yeah. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Paytm. Founder, chairman of Paytm. Founder, chairman of Paytm. Paytm. Ritesh Agarwal, founder, chairman of Oyo. O-Y-O. Oyo. Oyo. Next. Ankit Bhati and Bhavish Agarwal are founders of Ola, O-L-A, Ola Cabs, Ola, Uber. These companies are called aggregators, cab aggregators. See, they don't own anything, yet they are a multi-billion-dollar business. Oyo technically does not own any hotels, but they own, they earn thousands of crores of rupees. So this is how companies are making money. It's all skill. दिमाग में जो है, दिमाग की उपज है पूरी. Okay, work hard, learn things that most people don't know. Which country's cricket team won the Christopher Martin Jenkins Spirit of Cricket Award? This happened last year, of course, New Zealand, and they won because of their attitude towards the loss they had to endure in the Cricket World Cup last year. Some of you would remember that in the World Cup last year between England and New Zealand, the scores were tied. 50 overs, scores were tied. Then a super over happened. Even then, there was a tie. But when that happened, the winner was decided on the number of boundaries. Which team scored more boundaries? Unfortunately for New Zealand, it was England that had scored more boundaries. So England was declared the winner of the World Cup. But New Zealand didn't protest much. Didn't protest actually. So while England won the World Cup, New Zealand won the hearts. But then in the books of accounts, they don't write, who won the hearts. Isn't it? Yeah. So New Zealand. On July 30th, July 13th, yeah, latest, very latest stuff. Andrzej Duda has been re-elected the president of Poland. Poland. I'm not going to discuss all, but I'm going to discuss one, maybe two. Yeah, Poland. We can write capitals. We can write capitals, and when before that, I can give you the leaders. Hungary's prime minister is a guy called Viktor Orban. Viktor, Viktor. Viktor. I repeat, Viktor, Viktor, Viktor Orban, Orban. So Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Look at choice 3. Interesting country. Belarus. The president is a guy called Alexander Lukashenko. Alexander Lukashenko, Lukashenko, Lukashenko. He's a dictator. He just got his opponent arrested. You know, last week he got him arrested. So the guy is a dictator. What are the capitals of these places? Poland's capital is Warsaw, Warsaw. Poland, Warsaw. Poland's capital is Warsaw. Hungary's capital is Budapest, Budapest. Budapest. Yesterday we mentioned Budapest, and we mentioned it as the place where the World Wrestling Federation, is located, isn't it? Yeah. So Belarus capital is Minsk, Minsk, Minsk. I never bothered about that city. Minsk. Czech Republic, Prague, Prague, Prague. Bulgaria, Sofia, Sofia, Sofia. So when you say Sofia, Bulgaria's capital, Sofia. So immediately you should get the name of Sofia Kenin. Who's Sofia Kenin? The winner of the women's singles title at Australian Open 2020. That's how you relate. Okay, so from Duda, that was the last one. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious, guys. Enjoy yourself.